just got finished with that other part before, but before I started getting into this, I think when I'm doing these dialogues in I'm going to be doing a bit of background and doing some story of my own, if you guys don't mind. And 1 second, let me just adjust the audio so I can hear you guys, so I can hear the game pretty well too. Oh, okay, we're good. Now, nonetheless, when I was living in a different town a little while back, I would say not too long ago, but long enough for me to say a little while back, I was dealing with what I thought was depression, maybe. It felt depressing to me, I suppose. Or at least, that's how I'll explain it. Because I'm not really sure if I have anything to compare it to. But when I was dealing with it, I eventually got through it, but when I was dealing with it, I felt like the world was coming to an end. I felt like I wasn't good enough, and I felt like I couldn't get through any of it, to the point where I wasn't doing anything stupid, but I didn't want to talk to anyone. I stayed distant. I didn't talk to anyone. I wouldn't try and build friendships, because I didn't want anyone to get attached to me, because I didn't see a point on living to a degree. It got so bad where I tried to lie to keep people from trusting me. It got that bad. And I didn't do necessarily any bad lies. They were like little white lies, like ones you knew were fake, ones that you could tell by just a snap of your fingers. Or by getting really to know me. But then I realized nowadays I shouldn't be lying at all. So I don't lie too often. Well, I'm going to just say this. I don't lie as far as I know. Now, if somebody believes I lie, they're allowed to believe that completely. That is fine. That happens and it's normal. But when I was going through that, the reason why I was is because to me, when I had gone to that place, a large portion of my life had been, in a way, taken away from me. I had moved, was what happened. I had moved to a different town, we had lifted up pretty much everything we had. Some of it we chucked, most of it we did chuck, and it was to the point where I didn't even have a mattress. I didn't even have a box spring. I was sleeping on an air mattress, and the air mattress had a hole in it somewhere. And as it would go through the night, I would lose air, and I'd wake up with a sore back every now and then as well. I mean, I still dealt with that, but it got to the point where it was pretty bad. I contemplated my life on a regular basis to a degree, and I know how I was. I was really bad. But I didn't have... my parents were poor, so... And I didn't know if a therapist like that in my head... A therapist in my head wasn't an option to a degree. So I had to come up with some kind of purpose for me to keep moving on. For me to keep living. And so instead of just sitting there, letting it eat away at me, letting it hurt me, I looked at myself in a mirror in a way, saw all the cracks and scars in my own head, and said, I'm needed because I need to protect my family. They've done so much for me, I can't just leave them. They need me to at least protect them, if nothing else. They've earned that much from me, is what I said. And I meant that. That is a promise I promised to keep. And I can't say that and not mean it anymore. The stars, the sky. No, those words are in a way still part of my beliefs. Except my parents didn't want me to protect them because I'm going to be quote-unquote the next generation. So when I told them this, they told me that. And that didn't make me feel bad, it just made me feel like they didn't want my protection anymore. It just made me feel like I really just kicked myself in the arse in a way. But now that I'm enjoying something that I haven't in forever. And I think this person knows what I'm talking about. I'm feeling a lot better. Although, I understand the feeling of we're never enough, because that's how I felt when I was going through that. I felt like I was. I fought it off, and I recovered from it. But I didn't have a therapist. Somehow I still managed it. I'm not gonna question how. All I did what I thought needed to be done. Same way I'll do it again and again. Because I love these people. I think every life is precious. I don't just think that, I believe that. I'm the kind of guy who sits there in front of a tree and cries when I see it getting cut down. Because to me, it's another life. But that's not the point. And I'm not going to try and pick and prod at that. Because it still upsets me to a degree. Maybe I'm being a big fat old baby, or whatever you want to call it. But I figured I may as well tell some stories while I'm here. Nonetheless, I'm going to keep going with the game, and when I press this button here, I'm going to start this up again. Oh.
Yes, so awesome, Justin. Does that mean you know which way to go? Not quite, not yet, but I'm sure we'll find the way if we set off together. What happened to you? This? It's nothing.
Now, these little pauses where the words come out, I'm also going to tell stories. That happened when I was about around 15 and 14, moving into my 16s and 17s. If my numbers are off, there's a complete chance that I'm just misremembering. But that big instance I know isn't wrong. I remember that correctly. But before that, I used to live in another town where it was, we lived in a house infested with squirrels. It was either squirrels or rats. I think it was squirrels though, because our cat caught one. But nonetheless, that was a long time ago. But nonetheless, when we were living in this house, we would foster home dogs and cats. We fostered home a cat named Gracie and a cat named Heidi. Now, I'm gonna get back to these stories with Gracie and Heidi later, maybe, if I've got the time. If I don't, then I don't. I just enjoy telling these stories. They're just some of my favorite things to do. But I'm gonna start off with, I guess, Heidi, because Heidi was the cat that we had for the longest time. So I'll start off with Heidi. We were living in this house. It was rather small. I only had, I think, 3 bedrooms, because it was just me and my brother that were fully grown as of yet. It was either, it was three in a bedroom, 3 and my mom and my little brother shared a bedroom. And my dad was there too. But we had a plum tree and 2 other kinds of apple trees. I can actually describe this house just based on memory. My memory is probably way off to a degree. But if you were to walk up to this house, it would have one door on the next that's a rather small wooden door with 3 windows lining up. And a diagonal line. Now I may be misremembering here, so don't take this as 100% accurate. But there were 3 windows lining up. And there was a window that was a good-sized family room window, big enough for a person to fit out of, or big enough for a dog to jump out of, if need be or necessary or whatever. And we had a big hedge, a good portion of the way, and we had a huge-ass pine tree in our front yard. And this pine tree was sold that apparently, from what I was told when I was a kid, maybe this is just to help me because I still cry for trees every now, not nowadays, but back then I used to. Maybe this is just to help me, but I was told it was protected by the government because of how old it was, which I thought was kind of cool. And I thought that was was really nice for the tree in a way, and that put a smile on my face. But we also had, and a good a ways away from that tree, there was this brick wall we had that was for part of our fence. Either it was a brick wall, or there were just random broken bricks there. One of the two. We could have had a wooden fence, and I could have been none the wiser. But anyway, we had these bushes that grew all along the side of the fence, because there was another fence that came up and head up to these bushes that would then cross into the road. Although it would stop at the road, of course. And these bushes would have these flowers that would grow in a snowball-like orientation. So my brother and I called them snowballs. But nonetheless, as now I've given you a house description for the front of the house, the side had two windows and a longer back area to it, but it had a smaller living room. As you would get into the house, there would be a couch just nearby the exit or nearby the door leading out, with a good distance between the window and the door, and two chairs, one nearby the fireplace being a wood-burning fireplace, and one just off in the distance, just off against the wall. And we'd have like a bird cage sometimes there, or other things sometimes there. And when it would get to it, we had a bird named Meep, a bird named Mojo. Mojo didn't last till here. I'll have to tell you the story of Mojo then, I suppose, now that I mentioned him. We had a bird named Meep. This is also where we got, I think Meep was the only one we had there. Meep and Mojo's girlfriend. I think we named her Hissy or something like that, because she always hissed at us. Even though Mojo loved us to death, she would always hiss. She didn't like anybody. She tried to bite everybody and anyone. And we had this big entertainment unit just underneath the TV. That was like an entertainment unit is like a dresser, but it's wider and it meant to hold like your 55-inch or 65-inch. And we had a decently sized TV. I think it was about a 60-inch. That TV's broken by now, I think. But we had it hanging off the wall in that house. Maybe we left it in the house. But anyway. And we had a bookcase built into the wall with the games all throughout it. And we had the heater just behind that. On the other side of the wall, just behind it. Because if you came in, there was a doorway across from the entertainment unit where you could actually have a door if you wanted to, but it was the way into the kitchen and the hallway down to the kids' room and the pantry or the closet where you usually have your towels and things on your left side, and on your right side you'd have your kitchen and your dining room fit further down. And I think there was another closet or something at the end of that hallway. I can't remember. It's been too long for that one. But then you'd have your door just off to the left when you get into the dining room, just leading out to the backyard. And there was 3 steps leading down to the backyard. Anyway. And we would take... Oh, my mic. Sorry, that was my fault. Unless somebody else is in this party. Sorry, I just made a bit of noise. That was my fault. Rude of me. Now I'll get to the story of Heidi. Now, we had Heidi since she was about, I think, a kitten, or a little older than a kitten. I can't remember her beyond this point, because this is where we first had her. So we may have had her we had her for about 2 or 3 years. And Heidi was an outdoor kitty. She never liked to come inside, but she liked to be pet every now and then. She liked to have attention every now and then. But if you were too attention hogging or too attention seeking with her, she'd run off, which is fine, because she's a cat. And I didn't know any better as the kid I was to a degree. But every now and then I'd be a bit more attention seeking, because I love animals. I love the cat. I love my family, but that's not the point. Don't mind me getting sidetracked. I do this a lot. But we had Heidi for about 2 to 3 years-ish. About that. I'm averaging it because I don't remember exactly. The first year we had Heidi, we let her out, let her go do her thing, and every now and then she would come back out, she would come sit in my room, hide in my room, hide underneath my bed, things like that. I would be looking for Heidi every now and then, and sometimes I would find her underneath my bed, or on the dresser, or other things like that. But on the last few years we had her, she had kittens. And I think she had a litter of 6 or 5. And I remember my mom helping her, making sure they were okay, making sure they were alive and well. And she got most of them. I think 3 of them survived the process. 2 of them had passed away, which was sad. And that's still sad to me. Anyway, the 3 that had made it through we didn't come up with a name for them because we were going to give them away. We were going to give them away, I think, either for free or we were going to sell them. I couldn't remember. It's been way too long. But nonetheless, we had planned to do that, and we had eventually arranged doing that. But while this is going on, we got through a dog named Ellie, Bo, I think, and Gracie was there during that as well. Kadrin, Lily or Daisy for the other dog, and I'll get into all these dogs' stories, but I'm just telling you their names for now. And if I can, I might lose some track of time. Anyway, I'll get back to the story after this cutscene.
How did you wind up here?
My father brought me. Told me to follow the trail of treats and eat my fill. He said he would wait. So I started down the trail. Then I saw a butterfly, and I ran to catch it, and I lost my way.
Interesting way to put it, little girl. How did you get... Oh yeah, I want that one. But let's do this one first.
Your father, why did he have you follow the trail of treats? Do you know?
Because we had naught to break our fast with.
I don't understand.
I was naughty. Broke a jug. Spilled all our milk.
Your parents must have been angry.
Mother said I should be spanked. But Father said wouldn't do no good. Too many mouths to feed anyway. Sending me down the trail of treats. That would seem fair.
So your father was basically saying too many mouths to feed, so he'll get rid of you? What the hell? No. That's just... No. If I was this character, and if we can't, we don't have time to, I would say, let's find you someone who can take care of you. But we can't do that. Nonetheless.
You and your father, when did you leave home?
This morning.
And did the sun warm your face or your back?
It warmed my back.
So we must go east. Come, I'll walk you home. And explain to your parents that they must not lose their children in the woods.
We can't
Agreed.
go home because of the Wolf King and his pack.
I can handle the Wolf King. We'll be fine. But, I'm also being a bit cocky. I do apologize. You can't have a bit of fun without every now and then making stupid decisions like this. These aren't intentional. But where was I? I was doing the story. That's right. Where was I? It was just after Heidi had her kittens. We also had a dog that was our dog, like ones that we kept. All the other ones were rescues. We gave them away. Eventually, they got really good homes, if I remember properly. I don't remember where they all went, so you'll have to bear with me on that one. Sorry about the mic, my ears are itchy. Anyway, the dog's name for the one we had was named Tico. I remember Tico well. And well, we had Tico and Heidi. They weren't angry with one another at all. They wouldn't even fight. But Heidi would catch the squirrels that would get out of the walls and try and run around. And I remember, although this may be just me misremembering, but the fleas in summer, because you get fleas for your dogs and for your cats periodically, right? I don't know why I said right there. I'm not talking to anyone. I feel like I'm stupid now. The fleas would get so bad that you'd see them in big swarms running up your legs like an ocean of black in your room or whatever. And in the room we lived in the room that my brother eventually, me and my brother shared after little brother wanted a room, was the room next door, was this room where we had a bunk bed. And I was fine with sharing a room with my brother. I always loved sharing a room with my brother. But you would get onto the floor, and it would look like this black ocean would start climbing up your legs. And it was fucking horrifying to a degree. But nonetheless, we would attract many fleas either due to the squirrels or the dogs and cats. I don't know if it was that many fleas. It was pretty bad, but it wasn't horrible. We always had to buy flea spray, and we always used it on the house, if I remember properly. And while this was going on, I was going for elementary school, and eventually I get into my grade 7 years. But I'll tell you what I remember for my school. But I think that's good for a story for that. Let's let the game tell its own story now. It's rude for me to interrupt.
See what I've got on my back? Wolves feel it. Things do too. Come, I'll help you up.
Let's get going, little girl. We'll get you home. I know, they're wolves. I'm sorry. Also, I'm sorry, Wolfie Woos, but I know. Now, the cool thing about this character, if I remember properly, is I can't remember how to do the ability now. How do I do it? I'm trying to remember how to do the Elder Blood ability. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I don't need it right now. The ability I'm referring to allows you to teleport and attack your enemies instead of just dodging like I am here. Either it was hold down triangle, hold down X, hold down L1. Maybe I can't do it right now because I'm not strong enough. That could be it. Sorry, wolves, but we need to get through. If the pack would move on, I wouldn't have to attack any of you.
You can come out now.
We're good.
My father can even do that.
Mine could do a lot more. Come.
Well, who? Actually, I won't spoil who she's referring to.
Look! There's something there.
Actually, it doesn't tell you in this game, so I guess I will spoil it later.
Wait here. Don't come any closer.
But...
No buts. Stay here. I must see something.
Is that her father's corpse? If so, that's really sad.
Bloodshot, but still moist. He died recently. Lips parted and bloated. Bit clear through his tongue.
Sorry.
Immense
He bit
pain.
clean through its tongue. Ow. Chest.
His chest is crushed. Ribs probably pierced his lungs. Something picked him up and threw him against the tree.
Okay, legs, even though they're kind of mush.
Something tore his leg off.
Oh, tore.
No, gnawed it off.
Ew, that's horrible.
Stay there and
Rude.
look away.
You're not listening, you stubborn
No.
little son of a biscuit.
Interesting.
I'm only trying to help you. But okay, if you want to watch anyway.
To suggest a fiend.
What happened to him?
He had a fall.
Oh, bullshit. You're going to tell her he had a fall.
You got him.
When did children get so smart?
What will we do when the Wolf King finds us?
Good question.
I will fight him off with my sword.
But I can make a blade oil.
Oh, you mean like we make from rapeseed?
No, a far more special oil. Of dog tallow, false parsley, wolf's liver, and mistletoe. The fiend will feel terrible, terrible pain.
You're smart. How do you know these things? Did your father teach you?
Not my father. My uncle. Uncle Vesemir.
Now, sorry for interrupting the cutscene there, guys. I just got caught up in the moment like I usually do. Nothing wrong with it, though, of course. It's just... Now, we'll cut this off after we get through this scene, like, for a bit of the story. Not too much of it, of course. But, now, the cool thing about Geralt is he has the Witcher sense, so he can see all these things with his Witcher sense. When you're playing as this character, you can't really see anything like that, so you kind of just have to guess to a certain level. It's less of guessing, it's more of,
That? Yes. Quickly.
ow, my butt. Quit biting my butt. I don't need teeth marks. I mean... Nonetheless, if considering this is an actual live stream, I consider asking you guys how are you enjoying the episode so far. But at the same time, I do all my videos unedited, or I'll do them on live stream or on broadcast. That way, there's no point on editing them. That was my one rule with this YouTube channel, is that I would leave the things unedited. So, if you want unedited content and no ads, you come here. You enjoy it, you have some fun.
Sometimes they do themselves.
Do they return?
No.
If you ever want to watch this stuff, that is. I don't know.
Alright, I have everything. Now for a spot where I can build a fire and brew the oil in peace.
We'd brew it? So like brewing a tea. I love tea. Or I guess coffee if you prefer coffee. Or if you prefer anything else. I mean, I like coffee to a degree as well.
What are you doing?
Greasing my blade. See just how effective Uncle Vesemir's formulae are.
Now, in all reality, I hope you guys are enjoying this episode. It's been an awfully nice day. I really enjoyed today. If anything, I was a little confused about at the end of it from a message I got from some. Just confused. Nothing wrong with it. I don't know what I'm talking about. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe to you, I'm just talking nonsense and gibber, like gibbering. I'm a gibbering fool. I'm just being funny though. I'm not being literal. I'm not a gibbering. Well, I feel like if I say I'm a gibbering fool and believe it, someone's gonna kick me in the teeth. Nonetheless, the main point being is, I always love this game. I can always lose myself in it because to me, a lot of these characters are really different than a lot of people. They're different in not just who they are, but what they are. Because, you see, I love these kinds of stories when the character is so much different than most humans, because I'm autistic. I'm high-functioning autistic, meaning my brain's differently wired. The Wolf King.
What?
Oh, it's a werewolf.
Now do you believe me?
I do. Right. The oil we need. Not unless we want to angle it.
Oh, it's a werewolf. Lovely. No, just in story mode, this fight would be actually much easier than this. Oh, I knocked over a rock. I'm surprised I'm still conscious from that.
Why, you really give him a trouble. Never seen anything like it.
Girl, you can come out now. Come on.
Good. You're safe. Let's get you home.
You have bandages at home. Some spirit? He laid a claw or two on me, unfortunately.
I know this, but my lord, he's a powerful man. He's sure to help you. Might even reward you for cutting the werewolf down.
Very well. Lead us to your lord.
Okay. Thank you. I don't need a reward though. It's just nice to help people. Only reward I see in that is that you get to see a smile again. And not on my own face. Even though now I'm alive, I can't stop smiling at some things. Anyway, I think next I'll get telling another story. After this cutscene.
Just who do you think you brought me, man? That's not me daughter. And the little one? Neither, damn it! I think I'd know my own child. Well, it might not be yours, the older one, but you've got to admit the likeness. That's downright striking. So, any chance for that reward? You're not seeing
No.
fucking copper. Get out before I
That'd be-
set my hounds on you.
I can understand his frustration. Especially after losing someone like that. I would be too.
So, stew any good?
Yeah, I
Very.
suppose.
Thank you. I'd not eaten in...
Clear to see. I'm pleased you like it. Had them prepare a bath for you once you've eaten. And you could do with some sleep. Gretka in the nook behind the hearth. You in the guest room opposite the kitchen.
Thank you.
Eat now. We'll speak once you've rested.
Just making myself some food really quickly. 1 second, guys.
So I ordered my men to watch her and left her to rest.
And?
Ah, a topic for another time.
back now with a sandwich, but it didn't take too long. Okay. I don't know how many viewers we got. I don't know how many years we will get in the future. But if you're here from the future and you're here right now, I hope you're enjoying. I hope you're loving it. Now, I gotta read these. Tell me it's important. Talk. Just talk. Why not? It doesn't hurt.
No, a topic for now. Talk.
That sharpness. What's your tongue, Butcher? We wish to come to an agreement, do we not?
Oops, wrong wording. I wish that from time to time. I've got what I...
Take it you won't give me this information for free.
Yeah.
Sharp you are. I regret your loss. Commiserate. But you see, it so happens my wife and daughter are missing as well. I propose an exchange. Find my loved ones, and I shall tell you about the girl you seek. All I know.
Deal.
Fine, I'll help you. I'll find your family. But then you give me every bit of information you have.
You have my word. Guard! This man's under my protection. No one's to bother him in any way. Don't stare, I'm not proud,
but I do remember what happened here.
Treat it as a token of my good faith.
When do you see them last?
They vanished after the new moon, as if whisked away by shadows.
What do you mean, vanished?
Precisely that. I awoke one morn to find them gone.
People don't just vanish. Something has to happen to them. Maybe something magic-wise? I need more info, or... let me just ask the two bottom ones first.
You try to search for them?
Sent men out right away. They're not sensitive. It's one thing to rip up floorboards in search of a peasant's last sack of grain. Finding a living person, they just don't know how. Besides, melons naught but swamps and marshy woodland. Plenty of hard to find nooks if you're looking to hide something. This is the place.
Fair.
Anything unusual happen before they disappeared? They act differently, do anything strange?
Unusual? No. Not long ago, peasants came to complain that a beast had ravaged a woman by the well. Devoured another lass before her. Common occurrences in Vellum.
Ravage means between one of two things. As you... Sorry.
And Tamara, occupied with her things. Nothing unusual.
This place. Must be hard to be the only two women here.
This place? What do you mean? I want it for nothing here. Pheasant for dinner? Not a problem. Blue ribbons from Toussaint? Say the word.
Have your men in mind. Their company. Sure your wife and daughter weren't being harassed?
My men are a horde of horsens, but they know their place. One of them so much as looks at Anna or Tamara crosswise, I'll cut him down like a dog.
Good golly.
Maybe they were kidnapped. Got any enemies?
None worth mentioning. Worthless little pricks and angry peasants is all. None would dare raise a finger against my family. Any who might have, they've been eating dirt long since.
Okay, thank you.
I'll need to know a lot more than that. Can I see their rooms?
What for?
I need clues. Anything to latch onto.
I'll not let a stranger pore through their belongings.
Want me to find them or not?
I do.
Then let me work.
Fine. But I shall go with you. The doors
Okay.
are locked.
Oh. This is where we're ending off the episode, boys and girls. I'm sorry for ending it off a bit early, but it's late. It's about midnight. Sorry. It's about midnight. It's about midnight for me in reality, and I'd like to make sure that I get some sleep. Just because it helps me with everything. So, I'm going to get some sleep pretty soon here. In all reality, I'm just making sure that we're all set up for our next episode as well. Hope you guys, wherever you are, and whenever you are having a good sleep yourself and some good dreams. And if you're watching this episode just to get some sleep, hope you're enjoying. Where was I? I need my potions and things. Potion. No, these aren't really potions. They still heal you, but they're not nearly as fast as the actual potion. I wonder if I can show you guys the crafting recipe while I'm at it. Where is it? I feel silly now. We're crafting. Alchemy. Where's my alchemy? That's not things I need. I don't have any potions yet. What do you know? I'm surprised. What do you know? Alchemy? Oh, no, here we are. We have potions now. Never mind, I feel stupid. No. I mean, it's in... I think it's in... Okay, it's in this one. It's this one right here. This potion right here is one of the best for healing. It regenerates your health really fast. It requires 1 drowned brain and some yellow flowers. Anyway, the nice thing about these is they're pretty easy to make, and you just have to have some of the ingredients on you to make them when you're meditating. I don't know what Geralt does with his mind magic when he meditates. Maybe it's mind magic, or he just makes a potion by hand. He probably just makes a potion by hand, but sometimes I like to believe it's mind magic, just as a joke. But, it's honestly kind of nice. Although, in a way, I guess this is just really nice. I always love this game. Nonetheless, I get to share one of my favorite games with some of my favorite people in a while. Just, well, favorite people? Well, I guess I do have a favorite person, but favorite people? Nonetheless, night. Have a good sleep, everyone. And see ya next day.